Okay, so I know firsthand how it feels to feel stuck, doubting your path and really holding back when you should be moving forward. I believe that mindset is the difference between really spinning your wheels and making that good progress. If you feel like you have those mental blocks that are holding you back and you're ready to remove them, these are the 10 mindset shifts that can transform how you think, act, and achieve. So mindset shift number 1, you need to move from seeking ease to embracing adversity. Instead of wishing for an easier path, learn to welcome those challenges as opportunities to grow. Just like sailors who grow stronger facing those turbulent seas, you sharpen your skills by working through tough circumstances. I've had plenty of moments where I have stayed up all night really thinking to myself, man, I wish that this was not happening to me. But when I look back, I realize I wouldn't be where I am today without those events happening in my life. I've seen employees leave at the worst possible times. I've been faced with circumstances where I've had angry and disappointed customers. I've lost deals and I've desperately needed, and I've battled through projects that have run over budget. I've had just so many struggles, I can't even count them all. And it isn't just about business. There have been these personal challenges as well that have really tested me in ways that I never thought possible. Yet when I acknowledge these difficulties as part of really my journey, I recognize that it's not these barriers that are in front of me to stop me. They're actually these building blocks that have built a strong foundation. Each problem is a lesson waiting to be learned. Each setback is actually a stepping stone towards becoming more resilient, more resourceful, and just more compassionate. Through every disappointment, I've discovered strengths that I never knew I had. Through every hardship, I've actually uncovered courage to keep moving forward when I thought that maybe I couldn't. So don't fear the storm, really embrace it. Let that adversity refine you rather than define you. Now, second, you need to move from excuse making to solution seeking. When you remove words like could or would from your vocabulary, you stop giving yourself permission to fail before even starting. Instead of saying words like this, commit fully. You either do it or you don't. Eliminating this language really reduces the space where excuses hide, and in doing so, it sets the stage for that real action. The older that I get, the more excited that I am about really taking action. There's a kind of freedom in moving forward without hesitation, without pausing to justify why something didn't happen. Instead, just move on and do it. Start that business that you've been dreaming about. Make that important decision that you've been putting off. Really stop wasting time explaining why you haven't done it yet and just focus on how you will. Ask yourself, what are you pretending not to know in order to hold yourself back? Are you pretending not to know your next step is actually right in front of you, but you've actually chosen those safe words and those comfortable excuses to keep it out of reach? This is about clarity. Clarity in your words, clarity in your mindset, and in your actions. The moment that you let go of the language that allows failure before you even begin, you'll discover a new kind of energy that really drives you. So stop looking for reasons why something can't happen and start focusing on how you're going to actually make it happen. No more would, no more could, just do it. The third mindset shift is from relying on talent to cultivating discipline. It's not enough to rely on your natural ability. Yes, talent can really help you stand out, but it's the habit of showing up again and again that truly leads to lasting success. I mean, if you really think about it, whether you're working out, learning a new skill, or building your business, it's that constant daily effort that transforms that occasional attempt to real tangible results. I found this to be true in my own life. I set long-term goals and then break them down, not just into monthly targets, but actually the daily habits that will make achieving those goals almost inevitable. It's these small, repeated actions day in and day out that move the needle over time. I've learned this work ethic from my dad. He is one of the hardest workers that I've ever known, dedicated to every task he takes on. I was very fortunate to grow up seeing him as an example. But if you haven't been raised with this type of work ethic, it's actually something that you can cultivate right now. It starts with a decision and a mindset shift. And that's what this video is all about. You have to be intentional about embracing discipline, about building habits that support your dream. The message is simple. Don't just rely on what comes to you naturally. Decide what you want. Break it down into daily actions and then show up so those actions come consistently. Talent might open the door, but discipline will really keep you walking through it day after day after day until you reached that success that you're aiming for. So number 4, you need to move from pleasing everyone to defining your own path. Trust me, it's a losing battle. The truth is, no one needs to change for you to succeed, and you don't need everyone's approval. So set your own standards. Yes, boundaries make others uncomfortable, but that's their problem, not yours. Focus on living by your values, not someone else's demands. Now, this is going to be really tough at first. You need to become the kind of person who is confident in your own path, even if it doesn't make sense to the others around you. Understand that your direction, your priorities, and your growth might actually upset people who are used to seeing you maybe in one particular way. Personally, I have had to move in a different direction than many of my childhood friends, not because they're doing something wrong or because their path isn't right for them. It's simply that my path is a little bit different. If you waste energy worrying about who's going to like your choices, you'll never actually take the steps that truly matter. So stop waiting for that approval. Really set those boundaries and walk forward. You owe no one an explanation for who you are becoming. This brings us to number 5. Shift from scarcity thinking to the abundance mindset. So abundance really begins the moment that you appreciate what you already have, rather than waiting for some future milestone to allow yourself to feel grateful and content. By recognizing your current blessings, you start creating a place for strength and confidence, not insecurity. This shift in mindset changes everything. When you believe there's enough opportunity, enough time, and enough resources, you really stop making decisions out of fear and start making them from a place of calm assurance. Instead of holding back, you move forward boldly, knowing that you carry with you what it takes to thrive. Think about the impact that this can have on your daily life. Instead of really focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you can build and what you already have. Instead of measuring your progress against some really far off, distant goal that you haven't reached yet, you celebrate the steps that you've taken so far. Each small win, each simple blessing, and each resource at your disposal is a testament to the abundance that already surrounds you. This is not about ignoring challenges. It's about recognizing that you have the capacity to meet them without doubting your worth or your potential. By shifting your perspective and embracing the abundance that you already have, you actually unlock a level of confidence and clarity that no amount of scarcity mindset could ever provide. Don't wait for someday. Appreciate what you have today. Trust that it's enough to move forward, and watch as mindset of abundance guides you towards new opportunities, greater creativity, and a deeper understanding of the future. Number 6, move from chasing perfection to really embracing authenticity. Sometimes perfectionism is just procrastination, wearing a mask. Don't hold back your ideas, waiting until they're flawless. Really share them now. Even if they're a little bit messy, you'll be surprised by the impact an imperfect action can really have on the world. A perfect plan kept in secret is no better than having no plan at all. Imagine that you are convinced that you have to know every detail before taking that first step. In your mind, you become a perpetual student, always telling yourself that you don't know enough. Always waiting for one more course, one more certification, and one more piece of assurance. But here's the truth. You'll never know everything. There's always more to learn, and the key is just getting started anyway. Your perspective, as rough or unpolished as it might be, really carries a lot of value. It could spark ideas, encourage someone else, or open a conversation. Real growth happens when you risk being seen as imperfect, and you still show up, and you still contribute. So stop hiding and holding out for perfection. Start sharing now. Your willingness to act, even when you're still learning, is what sets real change into motion. So number 7, shift from viewing failure as final to using failure as feedback. Look, failure isn't the end. It's insight for your next attempt. If something doesn't go as planned, don't label it as a dead end. Instead, consider what it can actually teach you. Learn from it, adapt, and move forward. This reframing really turns rejection into redirection, guiding you towards your fulfilling path that might have remained hidden if you didn't stumble. I've learned over the years that you actually fail every single day if you're pushing yourself to grow. Each time you stretch beyond your comfort zone, you risk not getting it perfect the first time, and that's exactly the point. If you aren't finding those small failures here and there, you aren't truly testing your limits. Think of these missteps as more or less clues. Every disappointment, every unexpected outcome, every moment that didn't go exactly as planned is a piece of data that you can use to improve your next move. Instead of dwelling on where you fell short, instead focus on what you know now. Ask yourself, how can I adjust my approach? How can I refine my strategy? When you begin to see failure as meaningful feedback, you actually become more resilient, more resourceful, and more confident in your ability to navigate life's challenges. No longer afraid of getting it wrong, you become empowered to embrace experimentation and continuous growth. Redefine failure and watch how it transforms your journey. Number 8, shift your mind from comfort zone living to growth zone striving. Who you are now won't achieve the dream that you have for tomorrow. To really break free, you must stretch beyond the familiar. Embrace the discomfort as a necessary stage for growth. Each time you push past your limits, you really gain new capabilities and discover strengths that you never knew you had. I've recently started taking these cold plunges, and let me tell you, it is a perfect example. I stand in front of that icy water questioning why anyone would ever do this in their life. Yet each morning I commit, and each day it becomes just a little bit easier. In that process, I'm really training myself to handle discomfort physically, but at the same time, I'm training my mind to help understand different types of problems. I can use that mindset that helps me withstand the shock of that cold water to face other challenges in my life, both big and small. By stepping outside your comfort zone, it isn't about punishing yourself. It's actually about preparing yourself. The person who can sit in the ice bath, who can really take on a new task, and who can face new fears is the same person who can reach tomorrow's goals. Don't let the easy path of today confine you. Embrace the discomfort, step forward, and watch as your future meets and exceeds every expectation that you have set. So that brings us to number 9. Move from echo chambers to growth-minded circles. Don't just seek out those who already think like you. Find people who really challenge your assumptions, question your methods, and push you beyond your comfort zone. When you engage with individuals that really force you to see the world differently, you uncover those blind spots that you never knew existed, and you actually open up to innovative solutions that you might have dismissed before. As entrepreneur Jim Rohn said, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So think carefully about who you allow into your inner circle. Choose those who aren't afraid to offer constructive criticism and who will celebrate your progress towards growth. This kind of friction isn't a sign that something is wrong. Rather, it's evidence that you're evolving. Growth-minded peers don't just tell you what you want to hear. They actually tell you what you need to hear, helping you continually refine your path, sharpen your skills, and expand your horizons. Don't settle for echo chambers. Surround yourself with people who inspire to stretch further than you have ever thought possible. Now, the 10th mindset shift to accelerate your success is moving from outcome obsession to loving the process. If you focus solely on the finish line alone, your motivation fails the moment that you cross it. Instead, embrace the daily grind, the learning, the improving, and the creating. When the journey itself is fulfilling, success is inevitable because you keep pushing long after others have stopped. This shift in perspective really transforms your work into something more meaningful than a single victory. Each step forward, each small improvement, each lesson learned becomes its own reward. You're not waiting on external validation or distant goals to feel accomplished. You're growing every single day. Trust me, it's worth it. Keep up the hard work. By loving the process, you build resilience, stamina, and a true sense of purpose. And when you finally do reach the finish line, it's just another milestone in the path that you've already come to cherish. That's how you ensure success lasts more than just a short period of time. Now remember, success isn't just about achieving goals. It's about who you become along the way. By shifting your mindset, you really unlock these ideas and paths that you never dreamed of. So take action. Don't hide behind excuses. Make a difference, inspire others, and let your success speak for itself. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you found this video helpful along your journey.